The beauty is almost unreal, and yet for South Sudan, it represents one of the worst tragedies in the country's history. The flooding of the White Nile and its tributaries has been going on for 3 years. The overflowing river has wiped out thousands of villages, as well as towns such as Panyagor. Only its centre remains, just about. But now, a new rise in water levels is pushing the most resistant to join the 700,000 people who have already fled the region. Those who fled take to the direction of the highlands, trying to save their most precious belongings. The family's beds and the door to her house are her entire fortune, but she may have to give them up. After further negotiations, €5 will suffice. The boat sets sail for Juba, the capital of South Sudan. 300 kilometres of navigation over drowned tracks, a total of 48 hours of travel on a not-so-quiet river. South Sudan is the youngest country in the world. It regained its independence from its big brother Sudan in 2011. But a young nation means everything is to be built from scratch, starting with the roads.
I lose hope, but I got to try.
On the water, the journey is just as challenging.
See, the situation is bad now. It's really hard because it was a lot of energy, but this way is very difficult. We want to take this grass away and to fast here.
Far from the cities, only one law applies: survival of the fittest. The Mundari tribe's huge herds of cows arouse all kinds of jealousy, so the shepherds have traded their sticks for Kalashnikovs. The Mundari have learned to survive with what nature gives them. However, recently, nature has not been kind to them. Famine, locust invasion and drought have already ravaged the country. But the southern Sudanese don't give up easily. Between the instinct to survive and their resourcefulness, each of them fight a daily battle. There are some trips that are good to prepare well for. Mohammed and his 2 trucks leave to load a stock of wood planks 50 kilometres from home. In dry weather, the driver cuts them down in a few hours, but when it rains, it makes things a bit more complicated. It'll take them the whole day to cover the kilometres. And at the moment, the weather is posing even more problems.
يعني لو مطره كبت في الحال الشارع تين عربيه مش يقدر يعني حتى لو فور ويل دي فلوكس لكن العربيه ما بقدر تطلع فوق في الجبل عشان كده نطلع بدري الصباح عشان الشارع يكون ما فيها مويه.
Bad weather is not Mohammed's only problem. On the tracks of South Sudan, death is never far away.
Security situation is very, very bad because everywhere, all people are armed. All people everywhere. Now, as you know, now we are going, where you are going now, there is no government. Just only no police. Just only armed people. Once they stop the vehicle, they don't know anyone, just only driver. Let down, come down. What do you have? Give me phone, give me money. They take everything what they like in the vehicle.
And on the tracks, it's impossible to escape. In South Sudan, almost every family owns a gun. This is a result of the last civil war that ravaged the country between 2013 and 2020. All along the way, Mohammed remains on his guard, only to encounter an issue. His second truck has disappeared.
What are you looking for?
Another vehicle is still. I cannot see it. I want to park it.
Okay.
To see what is happening with this person.
Okay.
The situation for this road is very bad.
And half an hour's walk later,
Is there? Hey, maybe it is there. Kira? Hasi bitali?
Kan maji bam pis.
You see, you notice?
Mohammed is reassured, for now. But as is always the case, it's rarely ever just one problem.
This is a big problem. Now the bolt is wheeling all. It cannot untie it. You can cut it.
Fortunately, over the years, Mohammed has learned to anticipate the unexpected.
We have generators there. Now we are going to start it and we continue to cut it.
The operation is far from safe.
أنا لما نقطع الشغل ده أنا ببدأ شغل لو في راش جاي علي أنا بغمض كده وأنا بعرف شغل ده ماشي وين.
Mohammed doesn't have a spare wheel, but it doesn't matter. A piece of rubber and some strong glue will do the trick.
I put two of them. This is the cover. This is to protect the tube.
The bikers don't bring good news.
لا والله لكن ما مشكلة أنينا مشكلتنا جوا غابة أنينا بيطلع فوق كده
ما زي تقولي جو أرد ده موتور تاول ما دوكو أرد تقولي باشرب مويه ده ما بوقف مويه ده يشيل مويه ده
The drivers remain optimistic, perhaps a little too optimistic. The White Nile has been flooding for 3 years. Thousands of people are fleeing from cities like Panyagor, or at least what is left of it. Thanks to a dike, the inhabitants were able to preserve the centre, but now they're afraid that it will give way. Some have therefore decided to abandon their homes. The floods affect almost half of the country. The south seems to be more or less spared, so the Panjagor refugees try to reach Juba, the capital, 300 kilometres over submerged land, where there are many obstacles: houses, trees and tall grass forests. Today, several boats got stuck. At this point, water depth does not exceed 1.5 metres, so if the travellers want to move forward, they have only one solution.
You see, the situation is bad now. It's really hard because it was a lot of energy, but this way is very difficult. We want to take this grass away and to fast here. Maybe it spend a lot of hours, like 2, 3.
They've been working for 2 hours and the boats are still stuck. The inhabitants can't take it anymore. Every trip becomes a drama.
We need government to repair dike again to block all the water.
Or for you, they do nothing or not enough?
And they are seeing the situation now, but we will see whether they will do good or not. We are still waiting.
The state lacks money, and across the country there is almost no infrastructure. South Sudan's main resources come from oil, which represents 90% of its budget, so inevitably the money reserves empty quickly. Everyone survives as best they can. Like the Akwak tribe, none of the members want to give up their territory. So by the sweat of their brow, the men have built about 50 islets like this one. Every day, Makesh fortifies and expands his living area. Today, the Akwak's main task is to reinforce their island and fish to survive. They've lost all other means of feeding themselves. Before the water rose, the Akwaks traded fish for milk and meat from local shepherds. Today they supplement their meals with water hyacinths, which they dry and turn into flour, but the plant is not very nutritious. How long will the Akwaks resist the inevitable rise of the water, especially since food is not the only problem? The travellers headed for Juba took 4 hours to pull the boat out of the high grass and mud. Hard work under a blazing sun and without a drop of drinking water. It's impossible for them to fill their canteens as the wells of the villages are filled with river water. Taking risks is the only way to quench your thirst. But not everyone is affected by flooding. These Robinson Crusoes have found a way to make money out of it. They used to be bus drivers or craftsmen, but now they're fishermen. They sell their fish easily because, unlike the Akwak tribe, their islet is on the way to the capital.
We are going to look the fish and we are going to take tea also.
They fish a legendary species, the Nile perch, the king of African fish, as everyone calls it. They can measure up to 2 meters long and weigh 200 kilograms. To facilitate easy transport, they braid the fish flesh. They will sell the fish at double the price in markets in the capital, but also in neighbouring countries such as Congo and Uganda. Thanks to this business, Aliette, whose village sunk in 2020, was able to rebuild a new life on land. But this disaster has given rise to another. Tribes that have lost everything are now attacking boats full of survivors. Most of them are fleeing from the rising waters, taking all their wealth with them. They have another problem. The crew is very late and night is coming. There are too many of them to sleep on the boat, and the only island that can accommodate them is far away. The attacks are not limited to the passengers on the boats. The farmers who live along the submerged lands with their huge herds are also victims, except they have a means of defence. The Mundari tribesmen have traded their shepherd's crooks for machine guns. Among the Mundari, the number and beauty of cattle determines the wealth of a clan, the social status of a man and the prestige of an entire family. Cows are only sold in cases of absolute necessity, almost never. Cattle are mainly used to provide milk and to pay dowries. If he wants to get married, a man must gift his in-laws 40 cows.
Kolong lolo do munyunga la da dekan nunu do takada meti kireng nunga rasa muding de sakachena yala na do pona do mer kireng rasa muding ado nyanyar mun naga kangana longa kiaja duru naga yuduru anyara chuna rarata.
The herders travel along the river for several months until the rainy season returns. But they don't travel alone. The families follow the whole camp, and whatever the age, each one carries the burden. Elizabeth travels with her 6 children and her sister. The men decided to set up camp in this deserted area to avoid surprise attacks. Elizabeth's family has about 15 people to feed, mainly with porridge. The women cook and take care of everything in the camp, except the animals and the heavy lifting.
I'm cutting poles for building tent for my wife. I'm helping her. She'll be done to also to protect me and my wife, together with my children.
Kolakat. Usuku geleng kuliah kolakat mulai boy.
Ina na hora pati gadot. Magina na ngawin na. Ananti magina. Kora tayo.
Anna. Tisa. Na tani se tani. Anna bidu bujere. Na tani prepare sukila. Tani prepare sukila.
Very few children go to school, so daily chores are part of the learning process. But despite this natural insecticide, the next day, Elizabeth and her sister are in for a nasty surprise. The last civil war ended in 2020, leaving the country suffering. In South Sudan, large areas are still isolated, even impenetrable, a plague for all travellers like Mohammed. The transporter's mission is to bring back a load of wood from 50 kilometres away. Nothing is easy. In 10 hours on the track, he's only covered 40 kilometres. And to make matters worse, the rain is starting to intensify. So before getting stuck, Mohammed has his 2 trucks fitted with what he thinks is a perfect solution.
This is the 4-wheel. It helps us to reach up to there.
Driving was never just a job for Mohammed, but rather a way to survive. He bought his 2 trucks with the last $10,000 he had left after being the victim of a huge scam.
يعني اصلا كان ما انا كنت سواق لا انا كان عندي طموح في العربيه لكن جيت تاجر يعني جيت براس مال ما شاء الله ففي يوم انا تعرضت لاحتيال يعني انا شغلت جرار 54 طن انا سمعت الخبر طوالي انا جيت جوبا يعني لاول مره انا جيت جوبا وبدات اجراءات بتاعت قانون.
But according to him, there's nothing to complain about, as today he is running his own transport company.
Very strong. It is sweater, my friend. Huh? No other vehicles can work.
But when the rain starts to fall, the old trucks quickly show their limit.
اللصاتك بلف على الفاضي يعني خلاص ما فيش طريقه الا بعد ده انا بحاول طريقه اخرى لكن شايف كمان هذه المطره جايه خلاص everything is going very bad.
If they can even finish the journey.
This wood is internet up there and it disconnects the wire.
Only I can cut it. You can
He has 1 kilometre to go, with wheels as smooth as oilcloth. Mohammed is on it. Every metre is a struggle.
Yeah, now it's very difficult. When grass move and become only this soil, and it is difficult to move. That is our situation here. But now we are trying our best.
Mohammed manages to keep a smile on his face. The driver and his men progressed 500 metres in 2 hours. They still have twice as far to go. But that evening, they were not the only ones to struggle. At the same time, the passengers on the boat trying to reach the capital are also having bad luck. The pilot can't speed up, it's getting dark, and they're still far from the only island that can shelter them.
Team atopin tar team do topin ka guri ko we men dia be take teaching team lo adang ti de choli edit
Passengers and crew risk spending the night on the boat. On the other hand, in the forest, after 15 hours of driving for 50 kilometres, Mohammed has finally reached the loading area. The wooden planks are there, but for him, there is still one question in mind. Mohammed and his men go to sleep in the forest.
Now I became very tired. I want to take rest.
The blanket bitai. Ana binaw kursi da. Ana bakod martaba kila. Yeah. I put here. Now yes, I'm ready to sleep.
The road home is going to be a bumpy one. The skips will be loaded with several tons of wood, which doesn't mix well with the mud. After a big scare, the passengers on the boat to Juba were able to take refuge on this artificial island. Jacob is sore, but as he says, it could have been worse.
This one you have seen is a long river. No any dry place like this one. It's the only dry place near the river.
This platform, 400 metres long and 200 metres wide, marks the boundary between the old land route and the White Nile. It was originally built by fishermen to store fish and to rest on. Today, it's become a land of welcome for those who travel, or a land of exile for those who have nothing left.
So you can say the people who are used to stay here, these are people displaced by water. Displaced people to come to this stay on this island.
About 400 people live here year-round in extreme poverty.
So this is now the Ambiam place, and this is a room for doctors who used to give a drug to the people who are displaced by water. This is the room. It's rain. The visitors people like you can use to sleep on this side. Old mama is now 6. Having malaria parasite. It's not a mean hospital. It is just only like a clinic to serve these people.
Save is a big word. There is no doctor, just one nurse. All these people are abandoned on an island where no one will ever come to rescue them. Jacob and his travelling companions set off again, hoping to reach the capital by the end of the day. The night went by smoothly at the Mundaris. No cows were stolen. The only emergency in the morning was some unexpected births. In search of safe quarters to feed their cows, the Mundari are constantly on the move, so they've learned to use what nature gives them. To brush their teeth, for example, they use a plant root, which provides fluoride, vitamins, and removes plaque. And they don't need soap and water to wash.
Alo dorocha ena niki ana didana ga kolana yini ugga debe amru sunude ko tindo lumarang
It also discolours it, but the urine is mainly used as an antiseptic to disinfect the skin. There is one evil that the Mundari cannot fight, and it's taking its toll on them. Despite their efforts to install a smoke barrier, the mosquitoes still transmit their disease. Elizabeth and her sister did not sleep all night. The nearest health centre is in the town of Terataka, 15 kilometres away. Like the Mundari, nearly 11 million southern Sudanese live with limited access to healthcare, or none at all. Without help from NGOs, a large part of the population would be in danger. They provide food and free medical care in places like the Terataka dispensary.
For malaria, RDT for malaria, because it's still small. This one is positive. It is malaria. It's now detected by RDT. This is a rapid test for malaria. All over the country, the most common disease generally in South Sudan is malaria. Then malaria affects the children and then the pregnant mothers. And then also, you see facilities are very far and they don't have a health education as well, proper health educations. You know, sometimes if they feel the baby is sick or the mother is sick, they used to take the roots of the trees. Then they used to take it as a medicine, as a traditional means. Like this month, we lost about 3 or 4 children because of malaria, complications of malaria.
Malaria kills hundreds each year. Elizabeth, her sister and her children arrive back at the camp at nightfall after another 3 hours of walking. For the southern Sudanese, staying alive and buying food is a daily struggle.
This is honey.
That morning, despite his constant optimism, Mohammed is not in good spirits.
I lose the hope, but I can try.
Clouds and light rain. The 6 tons of wooden boards on board will not make the trip any easier. But in exchange for a few free tickets, Mohammed can count on the help of the youth. These kids, aged 8 to 15, don't go to school anymore, but they don't lack courage. The sawmill, located 45 minutes walk from here, does them no favours with its planks weighing 30 kilograms each.
Those people who carry timbers from mountain up to this place, they was carrying from the head here up to here. Yeah.
There are about a dozen of them working, so their compensation to be shared is not a lot.
Below 10,800.
I'm not here. I'm not captive. I'm not because this thing is very.
About €6. No matter how much they complain, it won't change anything. To get out of this situation, he decided to call the lumberjacks from the sawmill. In 1 hour, the lumberjacks cut down about 30 trees. Branches and foliage are used to fill the ruts. A massacre for nothing. As the day before, moving the truck is a nightmare. The machine makes little to no progress. Mohammed watches the day pass and the night arrive. Seven hours later, the truck finally makes a giant leap. 300 metres in one go, but victory is still far off.
Okay, but we are still the road in front is still very difficult also. Just now we are going to join two trucks together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they help each other.
Okay.
We can pass.
His perseverance finally paid off. It took 1 day to move forward 1 kilometre.
I'm supposed to sleep today night and see tomorrow what comes out. Because now people are very tired, no power again. And you see, night already come. Just only we wait up to tomorrow. That's it.
It will take Mohammed 4 more days to leave the forest. In total, it will have taken him 6 days to cover a 100-kilometre round trip. Almost unbelievable. Compared to Mohammed, the travellers on the boat to Juba did not do too badly. It took them 2 days to cover the 300 kilometres that separated them from the capital. The youngest country on the planet is in trouble. Unfortunately, in its 11 years of existence, it has already had to deal with several disasters. But its people persevere and hope that their efforts will lead their country to lasting peace once and for all.